Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. I am so excited to be guest designing for Whimsy stamps this month, August 2020. And today I have a very special card for you featuring the Cow Friends stamp set. Now Whimsy has several different cow stamp sets if you like creating with the cute bovines. So check that out. I will have a link to their store in the video description below, as well as a direct link to this stamp set. Now let's get into it. I'll be coloring these images today for you with my Copic markers, and these cow images are super simple to color. They're illustrated like Holsteins, so they are like black and white, your basic kind of milk cow, and they have the wonderful spots already shaded on there for you. So I am just using my C markers, C0, 1, 3, 5, 7, and 9 to color the cows. And for the spots, I'm using N, 3, 5, and 7. So just two different color combinations of grays, just to give a little bit of differentiation to each areas of the cute little cows. And I will just show you the coloring of one of the cows, and then we will move on to some of the other aspects of these images. I will try and show you each of the colors as we go along, but I will have a link for this blog post in the video description below. So if you'd like to just watch the video and then just go over to the blog post, and you can write down all these color combinations if you like how my little cows turned out and you would like to do this for yourself. And so now I'm coloring this umbrella, and you know, one of the really hot colors this year in everything is teal. So I'm just using a series of the BG markers to give her a cute little teal umbrella. I'm using the BG 11, 13, 15, and 18 for this. So I'm just making it darker where the bones of the umbrella are, because those spots would be indented. So I'm giving it a little bit darker in there to create that shadow and give that indentation dimension. And then for her cute little ducky friend, we're just using some yellows there, the Y11, 13, and 15, and we'll use the, I think it was the Y32, 35, and 38 for the feet in the beak. Just some simple coloring and shading there. And there I was pointing out how I used a Copic multi-liner for their eyelashes, and I used my Jelly Roll pen to go over those highlights in the eyes and just added a couple little highlights to the umbrella and stuff. So that'll do it for our little cows. I just ran those through my brother's Scan and Cut and cut those out just perfectly. So now I'm going to use this frame to cut out some pattern paper. And I just had, this was just some stuff in my stash, and I just found this pattern paper that had clouds on it, blue sky with clouds. And so I think it added to kind of the whimsy look of the cards. And then I'm using this ornate frame die to just make the whole thing a focal point in the center of my card. And I just used some stitched hillside dies there and cut out the hillside, and then I'll cut out the oval shape of it with that frame die again, and then I will cut out several pieces of that frame itself so I can glue those all together and make it a really thick piece to really give some dimension to the front of the card. So I'm just using the frame piece from the cloud pattern paper and another white piece that I had cut out, and that pretty kind of salmony color is going to be what the color of our frame is. It matched some floral pattern paper that I also found in my scrap bin. I love to try and use out of my scrap bin as often as I can. I feel like that I'm being frugal that way. So now I'm just going to glue that hillside down to the bottom of my little pattern paper there, and I will eventually pop up that bovine that's got her little arms outreached for like a hug I'm going to pop her up on some foam tape and put her right there in the center of that oval. I decided to take some YG 21, 23, 25 and just make some little marks like grass, just to liven up that little grassy hillside border a little bit. And then I'm going to heat emboss the stamp "We Belong Together," because this card is going to be my anniversary card to my husband. We just celebrated 12 years of marriage, and I just thought this was would make an adorable card to give to my husband. And by the way, he thought it was super cute and really loved the card. Wow, I just realized what a terrible shot of my desk this is. This is my filming area, and I'm sorry that it's a little bit low light, but I was filming on a rainy day, and so I was not getting any light in through my window. But man, that's a mess. But that happens every time I make a project. By the time the project is done, I am working on a little, like, maybe 8 by 8 area is all I've got left. I don't know. I'm a messy crafter, I guess, but I just always seem to be down to this little bitty spot by the time that I'm done. Anyway, back to the card. I just used some liquid glue to glue that frame down, then set an acrylic block over it for a few minutes just to give it a little bit of time to adhere to the card base. And then I just liquid glued in that back panel, and now I will put some foam tape down on the back of my little cow. And I like to get all the little areas just so if you were going to send this through the mail, then he wouldn't get messed up. He would be all, or she would be all stiff underneath there, and there wouldn't be any sagging spots. So I do occasionally go a little crazy with the foam tape, but I just think it makes your overall project just look better. And like I said, especially if you're sending it through the mail, you want it to arrive looking the same way as you put it into the envelope. Also, whenever I use any type of tape product, I rub it down really good. My bone folder is a really good tool for doing this with, because tape products are pressure sensitive. So if you do not put pressure on them, they will not adhere good. So always use pressure whenever using a tape product, because it is pressure sensitive. Okay, so now I'm just going to take my little guillotine trimmer and trim out my heat emboss sentiment. And I think I cut a little flag tail on it too. And then I will get that adhered to the front of my card. Oh, I did have a little spot that didn't quite heat emboss, or I accidentally rubbed a little bit of the powder off before it totally heat embossed. And so I just fixed that with my number 5 Jelly Roll pen. So I have white Jelly Roll pens in 5, 8, and 10. And they do all indeed have their different purposes. And the 5, being the finest point, is really good for fixing up your heat embossed boo-boos. And yes, I did cut flag ends to both ends of my little sentiment banner there. And now I'm just adding some foam tape, and then we'll get that adhered to the front of our card panel. And then I am using for my card base a Nina 110 pound solar white. I like a nice, good, sturdy card base. So on the inside there, you can see we used more of those papers from the outside and heat embossed the sentiment "Love You" that is also in that stamp set. Again, using my liquid glue to glue that front panel onto my card base, and that will finish up this card. And I will show you some final pictures of the card. And if you want to see still pictures, please again visit my blog for those. Oh, I did add some glossy accents on the little horns. I just thought it'd be cute for those little horns to shine and be a little bit dimensional. Again, so here's a couple of final looks at the inside and the outside of our project, and let's move on to our bonus projects. I'm just going to show you the materials that I used, and then I will show you pictures of the final product. I thought they turned out super cute as well. This is an adorable stamp set that you can do a whole lot with and make cards for many different occasions. As always, thank you for stopping by and watching. I appreciate your support. And next week I will be back with another project for Whimsy Stamps.